Well, hello, and welcome back to part 9 of the D7 battle cruisers. We're going to actually start assembling the nacelles, so let's get over to the bench and get started. Well, I got these engines together. I did this pair off camera. I'll do these on, but I had a lot of testing to see how they worked. What I did is this is the cool white, and I took a small strip of warm white, and I painted the green on there. There I used a different shade of green, and here I used a sherbet, I think, green. And this one I left white, and so that's why I taped them over. But then did a test to see what one shines the best, and I found that the light green, the sherbet, worked the best. So then what I did is I got 4 segments, took the tape, LED strip tape, 4 segments, and then folded it over onto itself. And that gives us the proper length to cover the chiller grills. And then I just took some styrene tube and cut little notches. Did a measurement from this to the upper edge because I want this to float about center. So it gives enough height to shine on them both directions, But it's not all up on it like that because then the light doesn't really shine through. So what? We'll put this one together. This one Betty Crocker, it's already done. This ship, which is the Romulan D7, and then this one I'll do on camera so we can see what I did. But this is the color that it gave me. Like even on the other side, I cut that little copper soldering tab off. That way I didn't create a loop. I don't know if it would, but I'd imagine it wouldn't be good if it keeps going back to a circle. So, but this is, hopefully it works. This is the result I got. Turn off this light. There's the green. And that gives a nice, bright, light warp engine green. So I like that. Almost thinking I should have used that for the, and I probably could. Yeah, for the impulse. Yeah, I could probably I'll do that green there. But I think I'm going to do a light green right on this side. I forgot I put a window maker in there. So that's all cleared. And I even did this side so it levels it out nice. That looks great. The light comes through it pretty good. So I'm going to paint that part here the same green. So that's what's going to happen with that. But yeah, it came out nice. It gives a good glow. Actually, I can show you because these are done. It's not big with the light on, but you can see it on both sides. But when you turn the lights low, yeah, it looks good. Now remember, there is going to be another, hull color is going to go on here, but I'm going to do real light in these areas. Like even if I tape them off or something and then just paint the rest of it and then come back and just hit it a real light color. It's just got to, but I think even with that paint, it's still going to come through, I hope, good. And this is with the gray plastic mold. So this is light green one with the newer kit's probably going to be even better. And I'm still getting, I got to clean the holes up, but I'm even getting the 2 dots on both sides really well. And a little light bleed right there. This is probably the one that I couldn't get to. Yeah, because of the way I had it clamped. What we'll do, I mean, it's going to get, the seams are going to get puttied up too. But I didn't go through and I'll just take one of these little clamps and clamp it together. For the most part, I didn't see much light leaks, but I just needs a little more. Let's see how this one did. I clamped them over last night, and this one I was able to get glue down into it. I don't know if I've gone through all the seams. I like the glue with the tube glue because it's stronger. And then I'll go through with this. Some styrene parts like the dive bomber and stuff, I was gluing mainly with this glue. And it works fine. Especially on styrene parts that don't have. I can clamp that a little more. But like I said, the putty's going to go through and fill up all those gaps as well, and then these get caps on them. And we'll fill all these seams up, so that'll keep from light bleeding through. But okay, let's get to building this. The main thing, what I started doing is I just take this to the side. I tried to measure them. Like I used my measuring tool, and then I kind of did this with a straight edge across. So I tried to get them close, but it's still not quite. They're off. After a while, it's just hard to cut them that small because it doesn't need much. Where's the other one? There's that one. I should have another one floating around here. It's not still hooked up. No. Oh, there it is. Let's see what one's closer to making the grade. I'm going to take a lot off of both of them. This one I really left quite long. Sometimes it's good just to work on one peg first. And you got to get rid of any of the burrs because there's not a huge trench there. And even those burrs can cause. But I keep looking off the edge. And when I can press down and that's pretty much floating level with that edge, then I know I'm low enough. But it's almost... It's quite a bit more that got to go. And I'm just using the disc cutter on the Dremel. So it's just that tedious Keep trying. That's close enough, that one. And then we can kind of look at... I'll hit a little more. And we can pretty much look at that one and get these others. Try not to hit the other lights. The lights. Especially the center one, because it's hard to get pressure. It does a pretty quick job of it. I think we can go a little more on both of them. Well, let's get this one down too. After a while, I'm starting to see. Oops, I don't want to break the. Just trying to get those burrs off. I don't want to break the little peg off. That one's really good. The middle one's got to come down, and this one. So it's these two. Need to come down a hair more. Or just get leveled. I'm not sure which. And that'll do it. Now let's see how it fits. And I've been putting them on the piece that doesn't have this on it, which is the inner grill, because it'll sit like this, and then, you know, this will be the outer. So this one's the outer. So I've been putting it on the inner one, because the inner one also is where I'm going to put the channel. And then I've been putting, you know, the tab that I left to solder. I mean, I could solder onto any of these, it doesn't matter. But as you can see, that side I cut it short. That side I left the... So that way the wire can just come through and do a little quick little bump around. But since we got this one going, let me find the other. That's the top. And that's outside and outside. So this will be the other one. We do got to put the notch in towards the back. Just right here, there's this little lip. Just need a little... A little notch, nothing big. I should probably hit that with black, because that light will shine in there. I don't know if it'll shine this little corner from the outside. And we just got to make sure, because I'm just using this red and black, real tiny wire. It's real nice. It's got the red and the black already on it. Yeah, that's more than enough. But we can get this glued on. I might as well notch this one out while I got it. Yeah, because the inner one, or this outer one that has, you know, the showpiece, doesn't really have much of a lip there. But this gives you a good one where you can just notch through. Here you wouldn't have much. This one you can notch a good notch into it, and it doesn't come through the other side. So that's why I chose the inner one. For that reason only. That's an easy. That'll be that one, and that'll be that one. Alright, so since we got this one, I can at least get it glued, and then we'll file the other one down to make it fit. Like I said, I'm using the tube glue because it's stronger, and it pretty sets up pretty quick as far as for this kind of stuff. I like to get caps on this blue stuff, because you put one little slight little when they're newer tubes like that, and it'll keep spewing glue out of it. Make sure my soldering tabs I'm going to keep towards the back, so the wire can just do a quick little loop instead of having to go all the way around here. and have a chance to get in front of that grill. And then I just try to center it up so that the lights are sitting about the same front and back. This one's being a little more stubborn with the glue. There we go. I have to put a little more down. Yeah, I might not have put enough. Flip that up and get a little more glue on there. Well, now I can see about where the pegs are going to be. So now I can put some directly on the spots. Remember to have it the right way. Yeah, it just needs a good amount of glue. And that'll hold it. And then you want to make sure we're square and level. Yeah, this one might have a slight bend that way. But like again, look from the sides to make sure your lights are even. You can look on top too, because I have each, when I folded the tape over, wherever there's a light on this side, it's exactly below there, so you can kind of look from the top as well. That'll get you close enough. You just want to make sure wherever this ends, that's, you know, they're the same distance. And then you don't want to make sure it's not twisted like that either, so then I look down. Like this front could come up. And it might be a little hard to do it a little bit, because the pipes are about, the styrene tubing is about the width of this channel, so there's not much room, because otherwise it starts rising up that slope. So that's why you want to make sure you get your posts on here pretty centered. I was using LEDs. I just kind of went for it and didn't even really think about it. But yeah, that's definitely something you're going to want. And just look down and make sure it's laying across there square. Like I said, this upper front wants to come up. And then the other thing is I do a dry test to make sure we got nothing hitting, and yeah, it fits. That fits on there with no banging or booping or. Just keep checking it until that glue starts really tacking up. But there it is. And we'll let that dry. And on to the next. It really wasn't that bad. I was so worried this wouldn't work. I'm still a little scared about when I paint the outside. But like I said, it's going to be that mint green, the engines, because I think the gray just comes down to this point. It's going to be that mint green, so it'll help glow green. And like I said, it worked. That mint green worked good for coloring the LEDs, so as you can see, instead of that darker. So I just used, like I said, I just cut off one segment off of warm white and the cool white and the warm white. The cool white, I put a little blue dot on it so I knew which was what. And that's also, I left the light out just in case I did get screwed up. Well, and then I was going to try a green marker on the third one. If those, either one of those or both of those didn't work out. And I can tell just by looking at this, we're going to have to hammer some of this off. Let's go. Let's go right for it. Sometimes I forget to speed this sucker up. Oop. And that one didn't glue on very well. Oh yeah, and then these I glued on with crazy glue. But obviously it was really crazy. Oh, even the plastic coating, the white coating came up. The crazy glue didn't work that well. So let's try it again. No, just see. Oh, see, he lit the back too. I was going through my lighting kits and make sure what I have everything I need, because some kits I got the like I have an Enterprise B, and she is a AMT 5/37th or whatever scale, 5/37th, and I don't think Gary has a full-on light kit for that, so I just went and used the Enterprise E because they're very similar. Nacelles are about the same size, so you know I should get a good decent amount of blue strip. The SARD collectors are about the same. They don't have any, effect to them. They're just a glowing red. So I just used that kit to use on the Enterprise B. It's going to have all the same lighting requirements, I guess is the best way to say it. There we go. I hate the smell of that stuff. Yeah, that should be good. But, like the Enterprise E, he doesn't have it set up because it's the 1400 and it's a big ship, but even at 1400, it's still big, but it's small. I mean, compared to like, if you would do a 350 of that thing, it'd be huge. Say the refit's like, let's just throw a number 30 inches, Enterprise E would be like almost, 2 to 3 times bigger than that. So, but that means, it looks like he gave me a flashboard for the nav lights, but I want to put some strobes. So, I was either going to just use one flashing light, and then, have them control 2 other lights. So if you actually go in series, the blinking light will give the same effect to the other 2 lights. But then I have no control on how fast it is. Do I run fiber optics to all those, which might be a thing. But I just rather have those cards. So I found some just basic flashing cards online and ordered a whole bunch of them, like 10 of them. So if I ever need them, and they're variable, so I can change. And they're pretty much what Gary uses. It's like, I know he's not making these up himself. They got to be off market. He's just putting the kits together. It's not a bad idea to start doing. I might start doing that. Make a little side money making some kits, lighting kits. I don't know how lucrative that would be. I had to buy a lot of material and have the kits made for different kits. I mean, I guess I could do a couple and try. But I would like to find more, if I do that, I'd like to find more of a dedicated flashing circuit like he has for the variable in his. Mine still, it's a dual output. But That's something I could start doing. Make a little extra money. Even if I have to, build the flashboards. But I could do like him and just... Ooh, the 2-line ones are nice. It's just that center one. Because I just glued it and I didn't really... Yeah, 2-line ones are nice. You just gotta... cut you down a little more. And I pulled it off again. It's awesome. Does not want to stay stuck. Gotta get in here and gotta be careful. Maybe I have to check to see if there's some loose stuff here. Or oil or something. That shouldn't have happened. Unless we pulled more of that white coating off. Make sure this is clean too. So you're not gluing too loose things to... Alright, let's do the last time I did a toothpick so I can get a good... Of course it's going to fight me with... I have to super glue because I need to buy more super glue because this one's starting to get too thick. Taking forever to get down there. It's like you almost might as well get thin, and eventually, if you don't go through it a lot, it'll eventually thin down. Or there's a lot. It'll eventually. Let me get the burr off. That was the reason why it broke in the first place. I was using tweezers last time too. Let's try this again. My favorite smelling stuff. I try to blow it away. It's not really to make it dry because it dries fast. I'm trying to blow the stink away. It's not good to breathe that stuff anyway. It does say cancer causing and blah blah blah. And I've already been through the cancer situation, so I don't want to go through that again. No, I don't want to go down that road again. There's a big burr on that one. The burrs are just to keep out of for the most part, it doesn't need to really be off, but I'm just afraid it's going to hold the posts up. Yeah, like I said, the best way to check it is like that, and I like that. So, again, we'll go with the glue. Let's make sure we put a little more on than last time. Make sure we're facing the right way, which we're not. Actually, I can just do this way. This one's the angle like that. Need to move more to the back. Make those lights even. Like I said, I keep using the top ones because I made sure I made the bottom ones exactly, that should do it. That's about right. And now it's the time to check and make sure it's not wobbling side to side. And them were not like that. That all looks good. Take a look through, and even the light could go around the LED, so that's always good. So it'll redundantly, and that's why I wanted to do the silver in there, so that light keeps bouncing around. And, you know, if the light's too close and it's causing a dark spot, you know, other light's going to bounce around and shine through underneath. And just like I said, I can hold that right up, and you can't even tell there's an LED strip above those. So, good to go. We'll let that dry. But that will show you. I'll come back. I'm going to let those dry. I'll come back, and then we'll quickly solder some leads on there. But let's first let them settle. I might hit them really quick with some tin those ends real quick, since I got to iron warm. Here, we'll quick tin these. There we go. Got the ends tinned, and then we'll cut some lengths of wire, and we'll judge off of one of these. But when we come back, we'll take care of that. But I'll see you shortly. Well, now these have dried, so we can start soldering these wires on. No, and I am going to need that super glue, but not at this second. Let's get my strippers. I like to clean out all the extra. Shavings. I found with this little wire you can actually strip both at the same time. Go real light, fast. And then what you do, because it's so tiny, to split the two apart, I just take a razor blade and cut the two halves apart. And I don't need to cut them too far apart because they're going right to an LED strip. So and it seems to work the best and the quickest, because trying to pull them apart and then strip them, especially when you don't want them so far apart, because with this tool it's kind of hard to get one wire at a time as they're pulled apart. So, but that'll work. I use my second pair of hands here. I can hold that. This is the last of that one roll of solder that I had forever. It seems like. Tin these ends. Yeah, I had that for a while, and then I ordered more. But I also had in another compartment, this is a thinner solder, so we'll give that a try. It's just probably going to take more. What kind is it? Not really going to tell me, is it? 0.3 millimeters, 1.2%. What, tin? Lead? Not really telling me, but this is a new one I bought. I think it's about the same as what I had. 1.0 millimeters instead of the 0.3 millimeter, or the point 0.3. Maybe that's the flux. This has got 2.0 flux. This has got 1 point. Well, that's because it's thinner in diameter. We'll use this old roll up. I didn't realize I had it in a different toolbox. Alright. Alrighty. What we can do is we can trim a little bit of this extra wire off. So I like them just to fit on the terminals. I don't want them a lot of extra wire hanging out. And the positives up top. The solder wanted to stick to the gun, especially when it's just in that little strip. Alright. You need to go like that. Stop flipping around on me.
Once again, everybody, going back with you. I'll just do a quick update for you guys. I'm having a little bit of fun here. We'll work on the Klingon shark fishing truck.
Once you get the one down, the other one will go down easier. Go. And there's that one. Let's do the same with this. I like the little guide here that lets you judge how much you want to strip. You can move it back and forth. This is a great tool. I'm only cutting about maybe 3 millimeters. I'm stripping it apart. I don't want it all like really far apart. I want it to have that nice, where the two of them look like they're together. I just like to try to keep stuff neat too. My wiring neat. Like, even on like the big saucers on the big ships, I like to keep everything neat. It's easy to trace things if you have an issue. And let's try this old stuff. Yeah, it works fine. I just got to use more of it. You definitely don't overuse it. Do the same thing again. Pull those straight. Give them a trim. Gun on. I need a new sponge for my solder. That worked. The negative, I gotta push it over a little bit. There we go. Actually, at this point, I can turn the siren gun off. Still got a decent size of that stuff. Ooh, is that a little piece of wire? You always got to watch out. A little piece of wire, just a little fray. But that little piece of wire could cause a short. Just that little piece. It'll work like, you ever hear of electronics failing? And it's usually the microprocessors, the chips. And what happens is those things over time can grow what they call hairs, I think they call them, or darts. And these little things can grow, and it's metal. And it can grow from an electronics piece for some reason, and grow to where it makes a contact between 2 points, and boom, it shorts the thing out. I think they're called hairs or whatever, but yeah, and it's so small you have to actually have a microscope to see it. But they're tiny little, I don't know why they grow. I don't know if it's just how that happens. I forget. I remember watching a thing on it. But how many electronics have died because of that simple little problem? Or they have to replace like a chip, or even, I think it can happen in any components, but it mainly happens where there's computer chips and stuff and boards and chips, because they have all those little contacts real close to each other, and it can jump between the 2 pins of a chip and cause a short, or irregular power thing. But there they are. So the next thing to do, I know I got this hot glue gun so I can glue wires down, but man, it just takes a few minutes. Like when I'm doing a big project, like a saucer, or doing a lot of runs and stuff, or I'll save all the runs and glue all the wires down at one time, I'll use the hot glue, because then I save my super glue. But to take the 5 minutes to whatever it would take, the 5 minutes, to do that, it's just a pain in the arse. So what I do is I just take I coil it around like I want to, put a little piece of tape there, and then I'll hit a piece of glue there and a piece of glue there. That way it never will get pulled and pull on the light itself, because it'll be tacked here, and that'll keep it from wanting to slide in and out, and this wire get into the grill. It'll keep it from this wire from sliding. It'll keep that wire from sliding this way and getting into your, blocking your grill. Plus it'll give it a good tack there and a good tack there. So if this gets pulled, it won't pull on your light. I'm sorry my camera is like, not the best. But I didn't want to spend a whole lot of money on doing these. I just was doing models and always taking pictures, and I decided, why not video them, and then my loved ones, if something ever happens, especially with this cancer, if that ever decides to peek its ugly head again. I already had it twice. The second one was small and minute, not even worth mentioning, but it still put me out of work for a while. 6 months again, and yada yada. But anywho, let's not talk about that too much. But yeah, that way we always have something to watch, and it's much better in pictures. I was just going to do picture shows on, like, CD or DVD or whatever, slideshows. Oh, it was coming out. Just patience. As Obi-Wan would say, he learned patience. But another thing that works really good to tack wires down is super glue. And I need to go and order more super glue. I got a lot, but this is getting thick. I'm gonna order that 3-pack where I got a thin, a medium, and a thick. That seemed to work good. I like to let it, settle down and make sure it seats its. Because a lot of it looked like it didn't get there on the other side. I want to make sure there's a. Make sure there's a good amount on both sides. I might as well do the same here. There's a lot more on that side. Before it cures, and then we'll make it really cure. Oh, I should have done this one at the same time. Yeah, but I find with like this, the tape holds it down so you can fiddle with your super glue, because I'm sure, just like mine, it's a pain in your ass. Like, this doesn't even say what kind it is, like as far as its thickness, but it was always a little bit on the thick side, so I'm going to assume it was like a medium glue. You see how thick it is because it's stringing, like almost like hot glue. But no one's come up with an applicator for it that really works, and I get it because super glue glues everything, so it's hard to really make one. This one I'll press. I'm gonna press down there even a little bit when I get the kicker out. Make sure I don't put my finger in everything. There we go. And that's it, and we can get rid of the tape. Oh, it was still trying to cure, which is weird. I might not have hit it that far up with the kicker. Well, it's still sticking. But that's a good little trick. You can hold stuff down so you don't have to have a million hands. And then what else we should do is we need to test anything before we close it up. There we go. Put that away, and I need it. Yeah, and I've just been eyeing how much I want to splice. And actually here it doesn't matter. Because this is going to be in the ship. And these are all going to get tied together. I probably didn't even need this much wire, but oh well. Well, I did judge if I wanted to. I grabbed the bottom. I can't clear my throat. It just keeps going. This usually happens when I eat something. And then I have a soda or something. So this would be this side. And that's going to go like that. I'm always up too high. That's going to go like that. And yeah, so I just ran it like that, and that gives me plenty. Sometimes strippers chop wires, so I want to have plenty. But that'll get me in this area. So I think they have these 2 points for their base. I'm going to have to putty those up. I'm not using that little double stand thing because I need to run wire up through. And then here's for a hanging. You can drill a hole here. I think that's, or that one there. You can drill a hole here and on the top piece and run a line through and then you just wrap it up around that plug here, and you just push it back in, and that'll give you a hanging point. I'm definitely not going to do the bottom one. I might put the other piece up on the top for... I have to look at the studio models and see if they actually had those pieces. Or on the bottom it wouldn't look bad. But I won't use the one that loops around because it has a slot in it, and you can tell. I mean, if you were running a line, you could paint it and then it would look more solid. But I wonder if that's something that was actually on the ship and they utilized it as a hanging thing. You don't know. But I'll see. If it looks cool, I'll put it on the top or bottom. I'm not sure how that would look. It looks like on the top it's supposed to go right there. Yeah, there's the you see how they put a little indent so you don't have to drill through so much plastic. I'm thinking on the bottom it would look, I don't know. I'm just doing this just to see how this is going to fit. Because it really doesn't have any nubs or anything. It's not going to be too bad. Yeah, can I find the piece? There it is. It's these. You can see how that one has a notch through it because you bring the line out and you wrap it around, and then I guess going up back into it, that's supposed to pinch it in there, I guess. But this one goes on the bottom. But since that's got a notch in it, I'm thinking no. And then this one would be you drill a hole in it and it would go through the top. I don't know if we put that up there. That would look cool. I'll see what other people did, and if there's any type of canonness to it. It looks like it's more here. I don't know. That's just with the way it presses out. So it looks like it'd be right here, which means it's going to be that close to the impulse. Why are you being stubborn? No, you're fitting tight. That's just high. So that'll be there, and then this would be like right there in front of that window, or right in front of that. I'm not thinking I'm liking that. I think if I do put it on just for anything, we'll put it there. Just give some type of detail to the bottom of this, but it's probably not going to get used at all. I don't see it. Well, see, they have it on their picture here. Not on the artwork on top. Definitely not on the artwork on top. If you look at the actual model kit that they have built, they show it there. It don't look that bad. But it's not on, I don't believe they show it on the new one. And it does come, the new kit comes with it as well. So the new kit's not, it's not something they got rid of it, because there it is. So, just gotta look at the pictures here. Whoop! Boy, that could have been a issue. They don't really give you, it's all the same artwork. They show the little dot, which is right there. And it's on this one too. But they don't show. It's just the instructions. I still think it's funny that the instructions for the older kit are nicer than the new ones. That's why I've been using the instructions for the old one. But yeah, there you can see they have that one going there and then that one going there. See, alternative display method. You run the string through. Loop thread around plug. But I don't know if I'm going to put it on there. If I do, I'm going to put it on the bottom. Just to give some extra detail to the bottom. Wouldn't look that bad. But that's how I measured the wires out. And I'm going off in a tangent. Like usual. Did I hit both of these? Yeah, that one I did. And that one I did. Alright. The wiring's still pretty tight, so I'm not even going to try to twist and do all that little stuff. I can just, you know, because this is just a test. Alright. They're going to be close to being next, so they can really stay out. Trying to get stuff into the garbage without sticking to my fingers. Alright, let's turn my DC power supply on. Let's see what we got. And I gotta get new probes. I keep saying that. This one that it came with all the multi stuff on it. I mean, it's great, but great idea, but really. And then and then these fell apart a couple times. So, these springy things, which I like the most, because they grab a wire and hold on to it. But there you go. We got green engines. And the chiller grills look good. Especially if I try to block a lot of that. That's the way it's going to look. And alright, I can do that too. And we're getting light through there. I'm either going to stick little fiber optics, which I think would be the best, because I think it would grab more of the light. Especially once this other side gets on there and starts bouncing the light around more. Yeah, I can see how much brighter it gets up here. Like, I bet you if I even just put this on here, like, you can see how it gets darker. That's the wrong side. It gets darker, but as soon as I put the two halves together, I get a pretty good light out of those dots. So I might stick fibers in there, or I'll just fill it with window maker on both sides. actually see through the other side. But yeah, and this is the green. This is the green kit that's molded in green, and it really looks good. And I was afraid it definitely looks bright on the camera, but then those will sit like that. And yet, by the eye, you can still see those bars. So it looks like the light's going around it. On the camera, you can't. It's bleeding them out. But right there's the short and the small bars. And that's the detail I didn't want to get rid of. Because if I had to cut that out, I would either had to make that detail or not. But, now at least when the regular light's back on, you can see it. Or especially when we turn the power off. But we know that one works. So we can glue that one up. That one works great. Let's do the same with this one. But I just want, as far as the power supply here, probes, I could deal with just these two. And I thought about cutting these off. But this also gives me an extra spare of those. Because I guess all of this gets power at once. And even this. And what is that? That's a USB. So I could charge something or run something with USB. So that's pretty handy. Never really paid attention. I mean, I knew it was USB, but I wasn't really paying attention. So yeah. So if I have anything that's USB powered, I can do that too. I guess I'd have to dial it down to whatever USB power is, and then I think that's most stuff runs on a 5-volt. So, but anyway, that's kind of neat. I don't have anything that's USB powered, but if I get into more of the soundboards and stuff like that, they're all running off of USB, so that would come in handy. That's where that, and I might in the future. And I might even still mess with it. Boyd from Trekworks was talking. I just watched a segment, an old segment, on inexpensive soundboards. And that might be something I want to do. Just to have the theme music or something playing. Yeah, and there we go. Shut this one down, see how that one's looking. And see, it looks good there, but yeah, look how much it really brings the other half with the light bouncing around. Really brightened it up. Because otherwise it was like, okay. But now the whole area that I taped off is bright. Yeah, that looks really good. Oh, my battery's about to die, so I better do this or I'll lose this footage. So, see you soon.